Hello. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, I think we're on Wednesday. So welcome everyone. If you are watching over on YouTube, welcome as well. This is also being streamed on Zoom, so you may hear some other people pop in as well. But hello, Zoomers. I see Deb is here, Lisa.
Hi, Alexandra.
Suzanne, Celia. Hello. Karen, Kathy, Stacy. Janet's here, Bernice is here. Hello, everyone. So this is Lift Your Spirits. If you haven't joined us before, welcome. We're going to give it a few minutes for everyone to hop in. Whether you're on YouTube or you're on Zoom, be sure to open the chat, say hi, let us know who you are. Long time no see. Bernice is here, Wendy, Lisa, Kathy, Stacy's here in San Francisco. And on YouTube, Misty's there, Lee's there, Beverly, Rose, Denise, Heather, hello everybody. And if you are watching this, it's no longer like, be sure to still leave a comment down below. And if you're watching it on YouTube, hit the like button, the thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell as well. And if you want to hop forward a couple of minutes, we'll be diving in shortly. And tonight, we're talking all about layering stamps and different ways to use them, tips, tricks, ideas, all those kinds of things with layering stamps. So begin. Hey, Karen. Hey, Delina. Welcome, everyone. There is no Bethany tonight, I don't think, because she was at Ohio State with her son. He was doing his enrollment. So you get to have lunch with Katie though. So that was fun. Let's get all my bits and bobs out of here. Cut down. There's a cardstock as well. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Lisa. It's brand new. Greg hasn't noticed that it's new, but that's a good thing. Delina's here. Yes, Katie is also going to Ohio State, as is Bethany's eldest son. So Bethany's already trying to marry the two off because she would love Katie as a daughter-in-law. Not sure how that's going down. I'll let you know. Lisa's just getting home. Hey, Laura. Elizabeth's on YouTube as well. So is the other Bethany. So everyone is joining in as well. All right. Okay, so making sure I can see everybody's comments. How is everyone this evening? Hey, Chris. No worries. The other Bethany says she couldn't find her Zoom link, but that's okay. That's why we put it on YouTube initially. And if you have the Zoom link, this will be available. We'll send you the YouTube link as well. And not. So it's just about time to get started. Hey, Fran, welcome. Pauline is joining us on YouTube as well. Hey, Pauline. Okay, so the idea, if you haven't joined us for Lift Your Spirits, is we take one stamp set. Tonight we are using layering pansies, and normally I show you 4 projects to use with it. Now, you can absolutely turn what I'm going to show you tonight into projects, but what I want to give you tonight is tips and tricks and ideas for using layering stamps just a little bit differently to maybe ways you've used them before. So we'll be diving into layering pansies tonight, and I just want to cover off a couple of other things. We also will let you know what we're going to be using next month, and typically we have a new release tonight, just a mini release. So it's some stencils and stuff that go layering pansies, but as many of you know, all of our family's been sick. And Chris is off all week. He is definitely really sick and everyone's been unwell. So we're not going to do a mini release tonight. Instead, Bethany has set you up an awesome coupon code. She's been really good to you all. So I have to read her terms and conditions. She has set you up a code. It is June LYS which you can use. I'm going to put it on YouTube as well, so give me a second. It takes me a minute to get between the two different things. Hang on. Bethany is amazing, absolutely. So it's at makerforte.com, and that means, so June LYS is your coupon. It is valid for 20% off all stamp sets, but it includes items released in the past 60 days and already discounted items. Offer valid through midnight Pacific time tonight. So you need to get your orders in, and everything is in there, every single stamp set. She's actually set you up a collection to make it easy if you want to look, but basically it's anything that is not released in the last 60 days. And it is in stock items only, no rate checks. So she set that code up for you. Let's try that. How's that? Gregory wired my studio, so I have a feeling some things went funky. Delina says better. Good. Hi. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yes. Gregory wired the studio because we were on Hochanda on Monday. Yeah, it's Memorial Day. And so it's all been a little bit funky ever since. So here I am. But we're back. So what should we do first? Let's just dive into some layering panties, shall we? So this stamp set is what I think this is our second ever layering stamp set. And so you can see on here. So this is how it comes. It's a photopolymer, and anything that's in yellow goes together. Anything that is in pink goes together. Anything in purple goes together. And then anything in like, I don't know, cornflower blue goes together. So we even did the insert so that you could easily tell which pieces go together as well. And this is a special one because this one opens up. Isn't this cool? And so here you've got all of these different things. So this is your purple cluster, this is your pink cluster, this is your blue cluster, and here is your yellow cluster. Now, it doesn't mean to say you can't mix and match if you want to. You absolutely can, but that is kind of how we designed it. And then all the usual stuff. And then on the back, you've got a summary of how they all look together. So that's how we do our things as well. Okay. Irene just asked if we are doing a summer camp. We are, Irene. It actually sold out earlier today. We sold the very last box. So registrations are now closed. But there may be a Christmas card making camp coming at some point. Who knows? Bethany may kill me, but we're going to go with it anyway. I have not prime timed this stamp. Is there anybody on the live who has not heard about prime time? I just want to make sure as well. If you haven't heard about prime time, I explain what it does and all that kind of stuff as well, because I didn't get a chance to pre-prime time this. So we're going to do it together. And I just got to grab my out back here. So let me know if you've tried prime time or haven't tried it. This is what it looks like. It comes in an 8 ounce or in a 2 ounce. And all you're going to do is, particularly when you've got a solid stamp like a layering stamp here, is spritz it on. And we're going to leave it for about 45 seconds. And it's going to mean that my stamps take my ink really nicely. I didn't quite mean to get my tag so wet, but it's okay. So it's going to mean that everything's just going to work a little bit better. So my ink is going to come up on here nicely. And it's going to take off that little bit of residue. I can already kind of see, do you see it like bubbling up down here. You can see that residue coming off down there as well. And I'm just going to grab a little cloth here. Normally I would just, after like, 45 seconds or so, I tend to just go and rub my stamps under the tap and just wash it off. You can just wipe it off with a cloth too. So I'm just going to give it a little rub, particularly on those solid areas. So when you make a photopolymer stamp, they're naturally super, super sticky. And then they take some of that stick off, but they can't get it all off. So we develop Prime Time to help you get that final bit of residue off so you get a really nice impression. And just to finish off, I'm going to give it a spritz of Squid Buster, which is just our cleaner. And that's going to clean off the Prime Time. Now, you don't have to clean off the Prime Time, but again, we want to make sure our stamps are good to go. I'm going to spray it to the side this time so not everything gets covered in cleaners. But you are going to notice the stamps even look different once you've primed them. Okay, I'll show you in a second. I'm just giving this a quick clean. Thanks, Lisa. Lisa's dropping links for us. Lisa, if you've got, could you do me a huge favor and drop the links over on YouTube as well? Thank you. Okay. So I'm just drying everything off. So do you see now my stamps are not shiny, they're matte. And that is because I've taken that residue off and they're ready to take ink. Okay. So Chris, any type of photopolymer stamp is what you're going to use Prime Time for. And you see now they don't stick to me, whereas before when I put my hands on them, they like went everywhere. So I'm going to start off with that. I am going to keep my insert close at hand just to make sure I know where things are going as well. All right, let's just start off by just using them for fun with some ink. So I'm going to take, these are my stages. I'm going to grab these out. I'm going to do my yellow pansy first. There's a little bit to go in the middle as well. So let's start off with our outer piece. And what color should we? Let's start off with yellows, shall we? So we need some lemon, and we'll go for some English mustard. And colors did Bethany pick? Because she'll have chosen some cute ones. We're going with our yellow cluster. She used purple. See, look, I'm even going to use Bethany's one as my inspiration for mine. Okay. So let's pick out Sugar Plum will make a really nice color here as well. I see Deb just went and got her steps so she can craft along too. All right, so let's start off with some lemon. Now, when I use layering stamps, I really tend to use my acrylic blocks rather than my MISTI. I just find it more convenient, but it's entirely up to you. I'm just going to press down on here, lift up. Now, do you see how even all of that ink has laid down? Because we used our Prime Time. So it takes the ink nicely. And what I'm going to do is, as I use one, I'm going to just, so I'm using my insert too. My main page just gone. I'm just going to, so you see I put my insert. This is the piece of acetate off the back. I'm going to lay that on top so I know it's my yellow pansy, because by the end of this, I'll have no idea what's what. Then we're going to go again, and I'm going to use some English mustard. And I just find this is why I like acrylic blocks, because I can just go down, easily adjust, lift up, And there's my layer 2. And if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter because they all just blend together perfectly. Yes, Ramona, you only have to use prime time once. The first time you use the stamps, you never need to do it again unless for some reason they got super sticky. And then here, I've got my sugar plum. And there is our first flower. If you're super brave, you can even do it a second time. There we go. So you can firm that up. So there is our first pansy. So that's just, you know, using basic layering, making sure we've prepped our stamp ready to go. So you can see on there as well. Right, let's clean. Just some kind of cloth to clean this up a little bit. So now I want to show you. So that is using all different colors for each of your pansies. So we used lemon in the background, English mustard on top, and sugar plum were the three colors I used on that one. So Alicia, I knew you would love this set. So there you go. So there's your first idea on there. Now the second idea or second technique I want to show you is how you can use second generation stamping to create beautiful things as well. So now we need our next pansy. So I'm going to make sure I grab out the right pieces. So I want all my pink pieces. I'm so glad Bethany did this for us all. What would we do without Bethany? I send her these stamps and I'm like, I want to do a layering stamp, and then she organizes it and makes it all neat. So she did it. Ooh, wouldn't that be fun? Okay, so we're going to use her inspiration. I like this idea. So we're going to start off with fog. Okay, so this is our gray ink. And I'm just going to stamp off to the side. Actually, it was a bit heavy. Just a light stamp off. That one didn't go well. I'm doing great this evening. So I'm going to stamp down second generation with this. Hey, Jen. Yes, I'm going to kiss it. So I just have a little bit in the background there. Some a bit darker than others, but that's okay. By the time we're done, no one's going to ever see it. And then she did a dark pink at the top, which is great because that's when we made a mistake. And for that, I'm going to go in with, I think I'm actually going to do Tiptree Jam. I was thinking about Flamingo, but I actually think I'm going to do some Tiptree Jam. So this time, I'm just taking Tiptree Jam. And stamping it down. Neat at the top, just like that. Now I'm going to take my bottom layer, and again, I'm going to ink it with Tiptree Jam, but I'm going to do the same kiss off. Where all these little bits keep coming from? Let's just move that to the side. You see I'm kissing off. And then I'm stamping down. Just like that. And Bethany in her example to us used black, but I'm actually going to go back with my fog. And I'm going to do my fog neat in the center here. So if you wanted to, you could make that dark. If you wanted to add a third color, and I know most of us do have black. So if you wanted to, you could firm that up with a little bit of black. But if you only have 3 colors, I want to show you that by just doing that second generation stamping, so bear in mind, these are both Tiptree Jam, you can create beautiful layered stamps with just the same color. So for instance, if you don't have 2 shades of pink in your collection, or you don't have lemon and English mustard, do the stamp off technique and that will give you your lighter shade, and then you can use without stamping off to create your darker shade. You can even do it 3 generations if you really need to and you want that color. Don't feel that when you buy layering stamps you have to buy a layering duo or trio of colors. You can absolutely do that with just the generation stamping. So I'm hoping that that's one thing you can take away definitely this evening. I'm just going to again lay these over the pink so I know what's what. That, you know, yes, we all love to have every color of ink, but I really don't want you to feel like you have to go and buy every color of ink just because you love layering stamps. You can absolutely take colors that you have on your in your stash and just stamp them off once onto your scrap and then create another pansy that way, or whatever flower it is. It might not even be a Maker Forte one. So that is another way you can do it, is by using one color of stamp, one color of ink, but stamping it off to give you the 2 different shades. So there's our second pansy. Okay, now for our next pansy trick, which again, I'm going to try and grab all the things here. I'll show you why I'm doing this in a minute. It will become clear, I promise. Okay, so this one has 4 pieces. So this is our blues. So this is our blue cluster, like this. And this one can be a little bit trickier to do. So that's why I kind of want to play with this one with you. So here you see she's got these different blue colors, but she's got all of these different colors layered together. How are we going to do this in terms of making this work? So we're going to start out with this blue piece. There's the yellow, there's the black. So we're actually going to stamp this in a kind of a weird order just to make it work for us. Okay. Just grabbing out another piece of cardstock here. I'm grabbing out my little drawer. Okay. Coming up roses would have been, I just did the June, May, it would have been April, I think, Lola. Okay, so we're going to take this and I'm going to do a little bit of icy mist for my background. But look how she's got all these cool colors in here. So I'm going to actually use my ink pad. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways you can do this one. So the first one is we can do this. And I don't want the harsh line, so I'm actually just going to take my cloth here and dab it out. And just to put a bit more icy mist back in the middle there. I think I've got this the right way around. I guess we'll find out. So just by adding that little bit around the edge, it suddenly starts to give me like that instant dimension look, which is one of the things I like about it. Another way you can do that is if you go in with your icy mist and then a little bit of Vegas strip like this. And then I should have got separate cardstock. Shouldn't be better. Okay. I'm just going to close my lid for a second. I'm going to give it a light spritz with water. Don't be afraid to play around with the watercolor effects. I'm on my misty lid, which is not that even anymore because mine's pretty warped with use. So what you can do is just go back in. Bear in mind, we're going to stamp over it anyway. If you want to fill a bit of that in, you can definitely stamp a second time as well. Again, by stamping a second time, you're going to layer up, particularly if you use Maker Forte inks, then you're absolutely going to layer up because they are opaque and they will build up color as you go. Then I'm going to go with this duo piece right here. And I'm going to go all in with my Vegas strip. I might even just add a smidge, just a smidge. I like to get my fingers in there. You can use a blending brush or a dauber if you want to. But this is actually one time I do not mind getting my fingers dirty. Shouldn't have worn white jeans to do tonight's video because I keep remember having to use a cloth and not wipe it on my trousers like I normally do. I'm going to just stamp this down. So there's our color number 2, and we get that one color showing through. And then we're actually going to stamp the next bit in reverse. So normally we would stamp this and then stamp, is that right? I got this the right way around. That's not the right bit of this pansy. Where's my right bit? Just give me a sec. Oh, that's the right bit. Don't worry. Okay. I want that bit. Anyone else ever do that? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So normally we would stamp that and then we would stamp this inside. But on this occasion, we're actually going to stamp the black and then put the yellow on the bottom. All right. So I'm taking this little bit right here. And I'm going to stamp down like this. And then we're going to grab out some embossing powder. So you can now pick what color you want your bottom piece to. I think I'm going to do, what color should we do? A little box of embossing powder out here. We could go for a bit of orange spritz. We could add ocean bubble. Just see what I've got in here. Threw everything in here, of course, like we all do, and then that. I might use a little bit of solar flare, perhaps. So for this one, I'm going to use my clear ink. You can see mine is very, very well loved right here. I'm going to take my clear ink, press down, and let's sprinkle on a little bit of solar flare. Try not to make too much for this. And then you can grab your heat gun. Mine is under here. So my black was still wet. You can see how it, you can heat emboss if you're quick. So yes, so you can do that. And then if you want to, another tip I wanted to share with you is don't be be afraid to grab a marker or a colored pencil, whatever your preferred coloring medium is. So like here, I'd like to have a little bit more of a pronounced petal. What's that? Let's do 4. So you can do that. Just trying out a couple of colors, and somehow I managed to color match pretty well, actually. There you go. So all I did was firm up that little bit of that petal. I'm really happy with how that one came out. So if that happens to you and it blends together and you don't like it, just grab a pencil or a pen and firm it up. If, like me, you got some embossing powder where you didn't want it and it should have been black, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my black marker. Your black alcohol markers, whether it's a Copic, Spectrum Noir, you know, whatever it is you have, they will work on top of embossing powders. They will cover and color embossing powders. So if you want that, or you want to, like, you know, blend in down here, you can do that as well. So you can add color that way too. Trust me, I'm the queen of being able to fix the mistakes. So be sure to try that out as well. If you want to add some of those extras in, maybe you want to add those hearts all the way around. This is where I need Maddie. She's the artist in this house. You see, you can add those hearts to go all the way around if you want to. So that's another way. So you can use the watercolor effect. You can use the double amounts on there. Use embossing powders to lift out different parts of colors as well. And so you can do that too. So that's another way you can do it. So there's 3 different ways already. I'm going to keep using this one for a second because I want to show you some other ways. And the other thing I want to say to you is don't be afraid to mix and match your pansy pieces if you want to. So like this is a piece from the purple cluster, but I'm going to use it on this cluster. So you can do that too. I'm going to go in with some Coronation Purple. I'm actually going to use it the wrong way up. So I decided I'm going to make my own pansy. So now my pansy's this way up. And now I'm going to go in with one of the original pieces. And again, I'm going to use clear ink. And I'm kind of just starting to add really some artistic license, which you all know I like to do. I'm not very good at sticking within the rules, even though I tell my girls that they have to play a little bit within the rules. And then I'm going to take some kaleidoscope powder. I really want the gold one. This is solar flare, maybe. This is English mustard. This will do perfectly. Now, the drier your ink layers are underneath, the better. So if you have got time to let it dry or to heat dry it, then I definitely recommend doing that. Not so easy when we're live, I know. And now I'm just going to take a brush and brush it off to the side. You know, trash can kind of brushing. And quick spritz of hairspray. For a second. And there you go. Can you all see that? Hopefully that comes through. Okay, so you can see there I've added some metallic details. And if you want to, you can now stamp again with Remarkable or anything, now that the kaleidoscope powder is set, you can add some of those darker details like this in. Mine's nearly dry, so I'll give it a second. Yeah. If you now want to add that little black bit in, you can. You can just stamp over the top. Doesn't that look pretty with just that little bit of extra shimmer in there as well? My hairspray is dried down here. But so you can see in there how you can add all those details, you know, adding that extra one in as well. Yes, Bethany, I set it just with some hairspray. And then you can stamp Remarkable or something on top of it too. So that is another way you can do it. Okay. Do you want a few more ways that you can kind of add some cool stuff to your pansies maybe? So something else that you can do, I don't know what pieces I've even got sitting here anymore, but we're going to figure out something. So the other thing you can do, let's see what we've got here. I guess I'm just going to throw some flowers together with some of this. Let's see. Go back to this one. Is this even a question? Okay, I got it. So how about somewhere here? I just had a piece of black cardstock. We'll grab another off the floor. Is anyone coming to the Scrapbook Expo in Orlando this year? Because I will be there this weekend, Friday and Saturday morning. Well, Friday most of the day, and then Saturday morning I will be there. Okay, so I'm going to start off here with some clear ink. Okay. Oh, yeah, I got most of that. I think I did. And I'm going to start my base with, let's do some grape. This is grape kaleidoscope powder. And normally I have a big powder brush. I let Katie have a team craft event in here, so of course I'm still putting everything back together. Okay, and it is, I didn't do the best job up here, but you can grab a clear pen or anything, but honestly, it won't matter. By the time we're finished, you won't even notice that I missed a bit. I'm going to take some hairspray and dry it. It's drying. We're going to get our next layer together. This one, I think. This one. This one. And this one. Yep. Okay. Now we are going to take our next layer piece. And combinations up as I go along. So I'm just going to figure this out. So now I'm going to take my next layer. Again, clear ink. Make sure your hairspray is dry. You might want to give it a spritz with a heat gun. Mine still feels a little bit wet, so. Exactly. Real flowers, Misty, are never perfect. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this one down. And we're going to go in with some bubble tea. think this will layer together nicely. Clean. Spritz. Look at that. See, you've got the two colors coming together. So you can absolutely layer kaleidoscope powders. And then we're going to use our last layer. Let's get that ready while this is drying. And do I want to use nebula? No, you know what? I'm going to go, if I can find it. Ooh, let's try that. That's a splash of heat. Okay. And again, clear ink. Eyeball. And I'm going to use Vegas strip. Now, I don't know how Vegas strip is going to layer up, but we're going to find out. Oh, I like it. Surprisingly, you can see, I'll lift it up so you can really see, but you can see all of these colors like on top of each other layering up. So you absolutely, as long as you seal between colors, you can layer kaleidoscope powders. Okay, look at that. So you've got the grape in the background, then you've got bubble tea down here, and then you've got Vegas strip up here. Look how cool that looks. I mean, that is just awesome. I'm totally and utterly in love with that. What's everyone's favorite so far? So out of all the techniques that I've shown you, what is everyone's favorite? I would love to know. Making sure that's just awesome. Maybe I told myself that. You love Lee loves the kaleidoscope powders. This one. So yeah, so there is another idea. Trust me, I could go on all night with layering stamps. They're one of my favorite types of stamps. But I do want to show you just a couple of other things. So another one that you might not know, so I'm going to just stamp this out with some regular ink for a second. So let me just grab this. Now it's all dirty. It's okay. Misty likes the watercolor look. So I'm going to do this with, need to think this through. I know that's an oxymoron, me saying I need to think something through. But do just a little bit. That didn't go so well. What did I do? Is my under? Turn over. Do over. Do you know what's the great thing about paper is you can just turn it around and do it again. Why is that not stamping now? You literally just used it. Get rid of that bit of paper. Let's try that again. Okay, let's try again. Go down. I stamped it on here like it came out perfect, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, this is really bizarre. I'm going to line it back up. I'm going to move my mat here in case it's that. It's all in the same spot, so I can't quite figure out what the problem is. Oh, there's something underneath. There's a little white round thing. I found the culprit. Okay, let's try again. I was like, that's not right. Okay, so I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to use sugar plum, I think. Let's do some sugar plum. Lisa says that makes me feel better. I love it. So now I'm going to stamp this one down. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to use some Coronation Purple. I had to get to the point where I had the middle because I needed to use that. Okay. So there's my pansy. Okay. Now you have two ways to do this. Either you can take some Maker's Magic and go in the middle and dib dab and add some glitter on, which is what I'm going to do. Or there is an alternative. And bear in mind, Maker's Magic is waterproof or water soluble. It's waterproof once it's dry, but it is water soluble. So you can safely put it on your stamps as long as you're, you clean it off, because if you don't clean it off, it's going to dry there. If you have a large surface area you want to do this technique with, just dab it on and use a brayer to smooth it out. If not, I just like to do this bit by hand. And I basically stamp with it. And as I said to you, make sure you clean your stamp off. I know I'm not the best at cleaning stamps, but you give it a spritz with some Squid Buster. Squid Buster will get the Maker's Magic straight off. So just put a spritz on, clean it on your cloth, and you see my stamp is clean. So it's not going to do any harm to my stamp. I cleaned it off. And now while it's still wet, we're going to grab out your favorite color of glitter. For me, it's going to be, I happen to have some Coronation Purple right here. So I'm just going to do mine all purple and make it like a little bit of a monochrome pansy. And now you can see how it like really looks like tendrils. Now, of course, you can use the nozzle and things as well, but it just makes it a little bit easier to stamp with it and get it in. So you can use solid areas, but if you want to get this in there and get all of that really fine detail, the easiest way to do it is put it on your stamp just where you want it and stamp it down. Okay. And again, cleans off super easy, just a spritz of Squid Buster and off you go. So that was that idea. Now, the last thing I want to show you, I really am in a hot mess here. As I say, tonight was more about teaching you some tips and tricks rather than us doing finished projects like we normally do. I can't get my words out. We're doing really well this evening. So the last thing I wanted to share with you was a way that you can make this lots and lots of different ways. So some of you may have seen, we just launched our background stamp builder. And I know I promised you all a video. You will get one, I promise. But this is a stencil and it's designed to basically, if you've ever seen the turnabout stamps from Concord and Knife, this is designed to help you make your own turnabout stamps. So you have the numbers on here, 1 to 9. And it takes either a square piece of cardstock, which you can keep turning, which I'm going to show you in a second. Or I also wanted to share with you a trick. For those of you who have the turner jig that fits into your MISTI, if you put your turner jig on here, it allows you to turn your background stamp builder. Ooh. Maybe I've got the wrong size in. Hang on, I'll move this one. Hoping I picked up the A2 turner jig at this point because I'm starting to doubt myself. Anyone else ever pick up the wrong thing out their drawer? I thought it was so clever to show you this idea. There we go. So this allows you to take your A2 cardstock and turn your background stamp builder down from 6 inches square to work with your A2 pieces. Okay, so if you layer your background builder and your turner jig together, you can go from square to A2 and back again. And this allows you to do mandalas and stuff too. So just an FYI that they work together in tandem harmoniously and perfectly. Okay, anywho, back to what I was going to show you. This is great. This tip right here, I'm going to share with you. We're going to use a 6x6 just to avoid any confusion. Is great tip if you need to mass make layering stamps. Okay, so we're going to start off with, what pieces have I got that go together? Every piece now everywhere. That's a piece, and I think this is the piece. So for those of you who don't know, the best trick I can give you is when you have a dirty stamp that you don't want to clean because you know you're about to just reuse it, is put a piece of acetate or blank mylar down, and then it doesn't transfer any of its ink. Well, you don't want it. So you need to put a little bit of temporary tape down in the center of your turnabout. Not turnabout, background builder. Can't say that, I'll get in trouble. And then take your first color, i.e. Vegas strip. Stamp it down. Okay. Then turn it 90 degrees. And we take our second layer. And then we go Vegas strip on this bit. And we're going to go, I don't know, what colors was I doing? Sugar plum on the next bit. And then you turn another 90 degrees. I'm sure you will see where this is going. And now we layer on our third one. Just going to go right here. And we'll use some Coronation Purple because it's nice and bright. We'll take some Sugar Plum over here. We'll take some Vegas strip over here. See where this is going. And then we're going to do our final 90-degree turn. And the lines are all engraved on this. You know exactly where to put it each time, which is the best part. And this one actually, I think, did have a centerpiece, but I'm going to use this centerpiece just because it's what I have to hand. And I'm going to layer it up and over this one. I think it might actually work. And so we start a strip. Sugar plum went here. Coronation purple went here. And remarkable here. And so, yes, this could be the start of a brilliant background, but it also can build you 4 pansies all at once. Okay, so then you just turn. I'm just not going to ink up this layer. So we're just going to ink up our Coronation Purple, our Sugar Plum, and our Remarkable. If you want to, you could stick like a little bit of acetate over this if you wanted to. But I mean, there's no ink on it. So as long as I don't really press it, it shouldn't make much difference. And a slusher would be great. And then I'm going to turn again. And so now I'm going to skip my first 2 colors. So I'm just going to do my Coronation Purple and my Remarkable. And so for my final one, we're just going to do our Remarkable. Okay. And then we have SVGs that cut these out for you. Or you could use, if you've got a scan and cut, you could use that too. But there you go. There is 4 pansies made, and you could make these into a background. So you could, now stamp another one in the middle if you wanted to, or, stamp a light background, stamp with fog over the top. The other idea that I wanted to share with you is you can now take this, the solid, if you want to. Where's my cloth gone? And take your clear ink. Let's make sure I pick up clear and not what I was going to just pick up. So I'm going to pick up the clear. I'm slightly off, but not much. This is moved. So I'm going to stamp the clear over the top. So that's that solid stamp we started with. I'm stamping that over the top. And you could either add a clear kaleidoscope powder, like snow flurries or something, and give it an all over shimmer. Or you could grab, none, because I picked it up, a clear embossing powder, or a clear glitter, or the diamond glaze embossing powder, because that would give it a clear but sparkly finish. And we'll give it a quick heat. And so that gives it this really cool dewy, do you see that? Like that kind of dewy effect that's clear, but it gives you a really cool, like, over the top effect. And the other thing about doing this is you can do multiples if you want to and build it up so it's a really clear crystal coat, or you could just ink blend around it now, or stamp over the top of it with a background stamp, like one of your favorite background stamps. And of course your pansies aren't going to be affected as long as they're done with the clear embossing. So if you wanted to turn this into a whole card panel, then all you've got to do is, stick this down, and now you can ink blend or stencil or stamp over the top of it, and you're not going to affect your pansies in any way. And if you want to, you can do multiple layers, make it as smooth or as dewy as you want to make it look like morning dew. So again, lots and lots of ideas. And all you need, just a tool to do it, is the background stamp builder. And you can use this to make your own symmetrical backgrounds. If you come to the Scrapbook Expo in Orlando, I'm going to teach you how to do it with this, which is super, super cool. And you're going to have lots and lots and lots of fun with that as well. So again, lots of ways to do this, and I'll share that with you as well. So hopefully you feel inspired by layering stamps and all the different and amazing things you can do with background stamps that maybe you hadn't thought of before. So is kaleidoscope powder still your favorite? Do you like the background builder? Do you like being able to stamp with Maker's Magic? Do you like the watercolor effect? Do you like the embossing powder idea? Do you like being able to stamp off? Which of those were your favorite? I'd love to know. I always love to know what people's favorites are. Yes. All right. Whilst you are typing those in the comments, we have winners. We have to tell you what we're going to do next month, because we do this every month. I think it's like the second Wednesday of the month, first Wednesday of the month, something like that. But we do this every month. So I'm going to show you what your stamp is for next month. And if you would like 20% off pretty much every stamp in the store, I'm going to tell you about that over on YouTube as well. So do we have out, Stacey says, what they look like out the jar. The best printout you can get is in the catalog. Stacey, Bethany also wants to pull that out. Lisa likes the Maker's Magic and the background builder, embossing powder background sets. So everyone loves a little bit of everything. So that's awesome. So, okay. Let's first of all tell you about next month's stamp. So normally, of course, I have the stamp here to show you. This is actually what we make the rubber stamps from. So we didn't have it fully done yet, but Cody is working on them tomorrow morning. I will be turning the vulcanizer on at 8 a.m. So it is nice and hot when he gets into the office tomorrow. So this is what your stamp will look like. So if you've ever wondered where a rubber stamp comes from, this is the mold we actually use. So this one I think is called Cute Winter Wishes. Maybe someone can just double check that for me. Yeah, someone could just check that. I think it's called Cute Winter Wishes. Lisa's, I'm sure, checking away. But you've got all of these cute little images. It says Winter Wishes in the middle here. You've got a tree and a fireplace. And if you're wondering why I'm having Winter Wishes and it'll be July, it's because we're doing Christmas in July. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, we'll have holiday. And I still have some florals. And all the techniques I share with you in this, you'll still be able to take and use with all your other stamps. So you absolutely can use Winter Wishes alongside me, or you can, of course, choose any stamp you want. So if Christmas is not your thing, I'm totally cool with that. Just pick something that has lots and lots of small images in it, along this kind of style, and you'll be able to use that too. So don't worry about that one. So that's what we'll be using. So let me make sure I've got a link for you for that one. And then I'm going to pick winners. And don't forget, I will also give you that 20% off coupon. So give me one tickety boo. It just takes me a second to find everything. Bethany just sends me everything. I just have to find where she sent it to me. Let's do newest. Happy Winter Wishes. That's what it's called. How do I? Thanks, Lisa. Lisa put it in the Zoom. I'm going to pop it over on YouTube for everyone. Yes, called Happy Winter Wishes. So there is the link for you. And also, yes, Wendy, I believe the 20% will work because it's in that collection, but I'm going to read you what Bethany sent me because she's the best. As I said, she's been at OSU for the last couple of days, so I haven't seen her. So you get 20% off all stamps, excludes items released in the past 60 days and already discounted items. Offer valid through midnight PST tonight. So tonight is Wednesday, June 1st. So be sure to use that. There is a special collection that Bethany has made for you that contains, I believe, everything that's on sale. So do go and use it. It's one use per customer. It only works once per person. Okay, so just to let you know that as well. But thank you for joining me. I really hope you found this useful because layering stamps are so trendy. But I wanted to share with you that you can use so many things you already have in your crossroom: embossing powders, glitters, just one color of ink pad. You don't need to go out and buy all of those trios. I know those cubes are super cute and I'm totally guilty of having tons of them down there, but you can just use a limited palette and make it work for you. You can play around with them. You can mix and match. Just because one flower goes with another flower does not make any difference. It will absolutely work for you as well. So go and try all of those. And don't forget to try them out. Like make some cards like this and even pop it in the insert with some notes or make it into a little tag book. You know how in Inktoberfest we do tag books? You know, go ahead and make yourself a little tag book of tips and tricks with layering stamps and put it on a little book ring and keep it there. Summer camp is now closed, and tag me on social, maker.forte. You can tag me and let me know when you've tried out some of these techniques. I'd love to repost your stories or your posts or any of those kinds of things. So make sure to tag me as well. I'm trying to make sure I hit enter. 20% off all stamps includes items released in the past 60 days and already discounted items. Oh, that was Lisa, sorry. So that's that. And yeah, that's absolutely everything. So thank you for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed this evening. I did see that Deb was crafting along with us as well. And I saw that Chris also looked like she was crafting in her craft room as well. And Lee was there at the front too, and Bethany and Stacy. So it only shows me like 6 people. Yes, Deb Vicario, I mean you. I can see you. And she made them. Look at that. She made them too. So yes, thank you, everyone. Don't forget, there is a Facebook group, the Crafter Party. You can share in there as well, or ask for tips and tricks. And Lisa kindly also set us up a Discord. Don't ask me how to use it. Maddie's been going on there and telling me what messages are on there as well. But you can join that as well. And if you need questions on that, drop them on this video and I'll let Lisa know if there's comments and questions about the Discord. So thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous evening. Go use that coupon. Bethany, I think, was in a holiday mood. I'm feeling extra generous to you all, so I hope you take advantage, and hopefully I get to meet some of you in Orlando in a couple of days time. If not, I will see you back online very, very soon. Happy crafting.